And so as we think about what diversity is, what I'd like to offer you is a different way or a better way to think about diversity. And so, the old ways of thinking about diversity in terms of, being culturally, being politically correct, or thinking of it in black and white terms, looking at diversity as meritocracy, that if people work hard enough, or even thinking about diversity as tolerance, has not taken us to the next level. And so what I'd like to give you is a way of thinking, a way of being, a way of interacting that transcends this racial or political construct that we've developed and designed for ourselves. And so what I'd like for you to think about is this particular statement and a new way of looking at diversity. And it's very simply this: that there is dignity and honor in being human. And so when we look at that statement at a deeper level, if we go beyond the superficial words that in clauses and phrases that are entangled in that, we can dissect and really look at how we are to live our lives and what is at the core of what diversity efforts should be offering us. And so when you think about the word dignity, what comes to mind? When I look around the city, the metro area in which I live, one of the things that I notice, or one of the groups of people that I see, is I often see people holding up cardboard signs that say, "will work for," or "need help with." And typically, what do those people want? They want money. That's what they want. What do you think I give those individuals? I'm not giving up any cash, right? So what I give them is I give them dignity. And how do I give them dignity? Well, dignity first says that I have the ability to engage someone at the level that where I find them. That how they live and what they do is more important than what I think they should do. I accept people for where they are. And so when I see those individuals with those signs, I meet them and I try to find out their story. I try to have a conversation with them about where they're coming from. And if I can get them resources later, I try to do that. So that's the first thing about what diversity means, right? So there is dignity and honor in being human. And so when we talk about the word honor, what does honor mean? Honor is very simply the ability to hold respect in a high level, and a high level of respect. So dignity is meeting people where they are. Honor is having a high level of respect for individuals. And in our society, who have we said that we should give honor to? Typically, we give honor to men and women who have done things on our behalf that we could not do for ourselves, for our parents and our grandparents, for senior citizens, for men and women who have fought in armed services. We give them high levels of respect. And next, so there is dignity, there is honor, and being human. What I'd like for you to ask yourself, and I want you to, raise your hand if you can answer yes to these next two questions. Raise your hand if you have either passed a test or you have purchased a ticket that has allowed you to be born on this planet. If you can say yes to either one of those questions, please raise your hand. The truth of the matter is none of us have brought ourselves here. We've all accepted an invitation. I don't like to think about how that invitation came. That's disgusting. But we accepted an invitation. And it's our job to figure out what our purpose is. Why were we selected out of all of our brothers and sisters in our parents' wombs? Why were we selected? What is the purpose that we are to serve? How is the world better because I have existed? And so there is dignity, there is honor in being. And lastly is the word human. And when I look at the word human, I find something very interesting. What I find is that it has two definitions. The first definition deals with our anatomy, human being, having two legs, being a biped, if you will, having opposable thumbs, a big brain, and a belly button. If you ever encounter a person without a belly button, be concerned, right? So human, having a big brain, a belly button, opposable thumbs, walking on two legs, knowing that you know, being Homo sapien sapien, the one who knows that they exist. Human. But human also has a second definition. And that is that of an adjective. And what do adjectives do? Adjectives describe the noun. So there are certain kinds of ways we are supposed to be that exemplify what it means to be human. And so when we talk about this concept of humanity, what it means to be human, being that biped, having opposable thumbs, having a big brain, knowing that you know that you exist, how are you supposed to be human? What is it that we teach the smallest of our human relatives, our nieces and nephews, our babies, our children? What do we teach them about what it means to be human? And I want you to think about, what does it mean to be human when we are giving dignity, honor, and being human? Now, one of the things that I often hear people say is that I can't give someone dignity because they have to earn it. Or I can't give someone honor because they haven't earned it. And what I would like to say to you is that that's probably the most asinine, craziest, narcissistic thing I have heard in a very long time. Because one of the things that I've learned as a high school teacher is that I can't, or my students couldn't, or people can't earn your respect. Have you ever heard someone say that? You have to earn my respect. And what I would offer to you is that respect can never be earned. It can never be earned.